and welcome to Newsroom series, this edition of the program that covers Nigeria's southeast. I am Bukola Koka. And today, our first stop story takes us outside the country, in Paris, capital of France to be precise, where President Bola Tinubu and French President Emmanuel Macron have signed two agreements in Paris that will ensure a partnership on the development of critical infrastructure and the long-term sustenance of agriculture and food security. The partnership agreements were signed at an economic forum attended by businessmen, captains of industry, governors, and some top government officials of both countries at the Palais de l'Élysée in France during President Tinubu's state visit. Earlier, President Tinubu and President Macron also witnessed the signing of the agreement by the United Bank for Africa, UBA Group Chairman, Mr. Tony Elumelu, and Mr. Antoine Armand, the French Minister of Economy, Finance and Industry for the bank, to commence operations in Paris. Zenith Bank also inaugurated its services in the country during the visit. Now, joining us from Paris in France to shed more light on the agreement signed between President Tinubu of Nigeria and President of France, Emmanuel Macron, is Nigeria's Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun. Honorable Minister, welcome to the program.
Thank you, and good afternoon.
Let's start this way. The President and French President have signed a couple of deals in France. Can you shed more light on these deals?
Well, first of all, what I would say is that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has undertaken a very successful official state visit with his counterpart, President Emmanuel Macron. And the message was clear from President Tinubu that with the ongoing reforms starting to reset and stabilize the economy and prepare it for investment, that Nigeria is very much open for business, even as it focuses on ensuring that it puts in place adequate safety nets to help people cope with the temporarily heightened cost of living. And on the part of President Macron, he, in response and as a sign of his own support for what has been happening in terms of ongoing reforms, he engendered or he encouraged the French public sector, led by its various development agencies and ministries, as well as the French private sector, led by the top businessmen, the Totals, the Schneiders, and all the other companies that are currently dealing with Nigeria. He emphasized that this was time for them to do more. So on the one hand, one president expressed the fact that Nigeria is very much open for business, and the other one encouraged his government and his businessmen to do more, to engage more, collaborate and cooperate more with Nigeria.
So, Honorable Minister, let's get to the nitty-gritty. What sectors will be impacted by these deals that have been signed by both presidents?
Yes. Thank you. Essentially, in a wide-ranging discussion, which included a number of ministers were present on both sides, as well as the two heads of state. And what transpired as a result of that was that there is a commitment on both sides to engage in agriculture, in development of initiatives to encourage food security. There was, in the area of solid minerals, an MOU was signed between the two ministers in charge of solid minerals. And likewise, as you say, in the finance sector, there was an agreement signed with Agence France de Développement, that's the French development agency, declaration of interest, as well as a letter of intent signed by myself and my counterpart, Monsieur Antoine Armand, the French Minister of Finance. And that focused on all areas from infrastructure, healthcare, technology, housing, and so on and so forth. So it's a wide-ranging engagement. We have on both sides the marching orders to deepen the relationship between the two public sectors. And as I said earlier, there was also a call for French businessmen, for the French private sector to engage more and to take the opportunities that are now unfolding as Nigeria's economy stabilizes, opens up for investment, and has freedom of entry and exit for investors, whether they want to repatriate their dividends or even in some cases, even their capital. So that was the core. The creative arts was also a major area in which an MOU was signed. So the Minister of Arts, Culture, Tourism also signed an MOU, and that was seen as an area that speaks to the demographic of Nigeria, with a population of over 200 million, half of whom are under 19 years. Clearly, creativity, arts are going to play a major role in the economy, and that was also emphasized. So all in all, it was a very, very fruitful engagement yesterday that bodes well for employment, creation of jobs, and growth of the Nigerian industry. And as you yourself mentioned, it's not a one-way street. Nigerian financial institutions are opening subsidiaries in France, particularly in the financial center of Paris. We have Access, we have Zenith, that 2 days ago opened a branch. And of course, as you mentioned, the agreement was signed for UBA to process the opening of a subsidiary and a branch in Paris. And what that speaks to is ease of doing business between the two countries. It's a sign of the building of trust between the two regulatory organizations. And of course, once businessmen now have at their doorstep an institution familiar with the Nigerian environment and willing to help them with their trade, with their transactions, with their payments, of course, that creates a viable environment for increased business and increased trade and increased economic engagement.
And Honorable Minister, as you have said, these are commitments, declarations of interest and MOUs signed between both presidents and indeed between ministers of both countries and other officials of both countries. But with food inflation at 39%, hovering around that figure, Nigerians are asking, how will these commitments, declarations of interest, translate into tangible investment on site at home here in Nigeria for the creation of jobs and other opportunities, for the benefit of the average Nigerian and for the upliftment of the economy?
Well, on the of course, in terms of inflation, which I think is steady, and the issue is to get inflation down. As we heard just a few days ago, the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics did mention that the economy was growing at about 3.5%, and that's a good sign. That's a positive sign, and it's going in the right direction. And of course, what the target of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is to get growth at even double that rate, rapidly, sustainably, inclusively, and consistently. And we can see that we're on that path, and foreign direct investment and even domestic investment is a large part of getting down inflation, because you get down inflation by increasing the supply. If you increase the supply of agricultural products, increase the supply of goods and services, manufactured goods and services, fast-moving consumer goods, food products, clearly, that way you increase supply, bring down prices, and therefore bring down inflation. And when we look at the public sector, the French public sector, through its Agence Française de Développement, AFD, they have put in about $10 billion to 10 billion euro, I would say, into the Nigerian economy over the last decade or so. And some of those transactions are still being brought to fruition. And so there's a commitment to ensure that bringing these investments, some of it grant funds or very low interest concessional financing, hastening the hastening the implementation of the projects that are bringing this money is an important part. And of course, on the private sector side, foreign direct investment to increase productivity, create jobs, grow the economy, and reduce poverty is Mr. President's overall aim. Today, at a business forum where top Nigerian businessmen, the likes of Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Alhaji Abdulsamad Rabiu, Mr. Jimovia, Mr. Imokode, Mr. Dr. Leo Staneke, and others met with their French counterparts in a I think the room had about 100 top businessmen from France and Nigeria in there. And the Total Energies announced that they will be investing $1 billion over the next year. Consistently over the next few years. Likewise, Schneider Electric expressed more keenness for more engagement. Companies in the radar space and in the technology space also emphasize that they will be engaging more and investing more in the Nigerian economy. And that really is the overall aim of the economic diplomacy of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And in the case of the relationship with France, of course, is a long-standing one. There's the cultural ties, the diplomatic ties, the trade and economic ties. But I must say also, in addition, there is, and it's apparent to all, maybe based on various engagements around the world, there is a warm, cordial, and relationship between President Macron and President Tinubu, and the dividends of that relationship are also playing out in terms of this increased engagement economically and politically as well.
Evidently. Honorable Minister of the Economy, of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
As part of its program to commemorate the World Savings Day, the federal government, through the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, embarked on an awareness campaign on financial literacy and importance of saving money for students across secondary schools in Imo State. According to the organizers, their aim is to catch them young and encourage them on a good savings habit early in life, so by the time they grow, they'll be used to it. Our correspondent, Eyitokwe Kutei, brings details in this report.
Secondary school students across major schools in Owerri are gathered for an awareness campaign on financial literacy and importance of saving money, a program organized by the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation to commemorate the World Savings Day. The facilitators first speak on the essence of the program.
This lecture you're having today is very important because sometimes a lot of things happen. Some of you, even though you are kids, you must have known that some of you some people will lose their parents, not you, my children, will lose their parents and they will not be able to access their parents' property, especially when it concerns bank. And I know with this lecture they are going to teach you what to do. And then you go to teach others and teach your mother, your parents, what to do.
We want to start now to encourage and inculcate savings habits in younger people, so that by the time they grow, they already know what it's all about. So I'm also to educate them about the deposit insurance and create public awareness on that they will always have confidence in the financial system and know that Nigeria's financial system is in safe hands.
Thereafter, the students are taken through a detailed lecture on financial literacy and what they need to know about the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation.
Once we call Wonder Banks and all these magic banks, they'll say 300, I'll give you this. They are not licensed.
So you have to know the kind of bank, what you call a bank. So we work with the licensed deposit taking is. That's why I keep putting that license. It's very important. And it's good you let your parents know. Whenever they say they're taking money to the bank, ask them which what type of bank. Is it a licensed bank? If they say yes, then that's fine.
After the program, some of the participants shared their experience.
I've learned that it's very, very important to see. Despite the situation, some of us are discouraged in terms of saving when it comes to having small amount. So I've learned that no matter the amount you have to save.
Budget making, income, and a lot of other things too. And also make awareness for those who doesn't know things about banks, why banks are failing. But if the bank has just little source that it wants to fail, they'll help out so that the bank will not fail.
This awareness campaign seeks to equip young Nigerians with the knowledge and discipline necessary to secure their financial future and contribute to the nation's economic stability. Iyitope Kuteyi, Channels Television News.
As part of its commitment to boost agriculture, production and food security, the Ebonyi state government has revitalized the poultry farm to increase the production of poultry products such as eggs and meat, which can help meet the growing demand for protein-rich foods in the state. The poultry farm, located along Nkaliki Road in Abakaliki, the state capital, has been out of production for over 10 years.
It's a cheery news for the people of Ebonyi State, as the state poultry farm, which has been out of production for over 10 years, is back to full production with modern facilities. The moribund poultry farm has been revitalized with over 20,000 birds, including layers and broilers, to reduce reliance on imported food and to ensure food security by increasing agricultural production, which will contribute to economic growth and development in the state.
When we came on board, we started doing something in the hatchery, and by the grace of God, we have 9,000 layers there, people saw it, and the 10,000 broilers, which by the grace of God, by this Christmas, it will start selling to our people.
The Commissioner for Agriculture also hints that the state government has made funds available for the construction of a feed mill, which will enable the farm to produce feeds for the livestock and create more jobs.
There's no way we can be doing livestock and we'll be buying feeds aside. So we have to have our feed mill. One, we have to employ our youth. And Ebonians, not only the youth, the Ebonians, we employ them, they will get employment. And another thing, we make IGR. And another thing, in the southeast, that hatchery is the only government-owned hatchery in the southeast. Definitely, I mean, people from southeast will be buying from that place instead of going to Ibadan all the time, southwest, to buy their chicken.
Meanwhile, harvesting of rice has commenced at the state government farmland located at Ezilu in Ishielu local government area. With over 500 workers employed, the 1,000 hectares farmland is expected to produce 6,000 metric tons of rice to reduce the cost of the commodity, especially during the festive season.
More from the southeast, the Abia State Governor, Dr. Alex Oti, has flagged off the reconstruction of the 11.45-kilometer Ntiga Mbausi Umuala Road in Isialangwa North local government area, with a promise to complete the road project within 12 months. Speaking during the flag-off exercise at the Central School Mbausi, Dr. Oti said the road, on completion in the next 1 year, would breathe new life into the economies of the communities along this corridor, stimulate job creation, as well as enhance urban-rural migration and boost agriculture development. It's the official flag-off of the reconstruction of the 11.45-kilometer Ntiga Mbausi Umuala Road in Isialangwa North Local Government Area of Abia State, and it's part of Dr. Alex Oti-led administration's efforts to connect those within Abia cities and towns. The deplorable condition of the abandoned road, which cut across several communities along this corridor, has been a subject of discussion among residents who have plied it over 10 years. Locals, including illustrious sons of the area from across party divides, are here to identify with the event, as it appeared that succor had finally come. Dr. Alex Oti storms the site and flags off the reconstruction process with men and equipment on site. Addressing supporters, traditional rulers and other stakeholders, Dr. Alex Oti promises to create new urban centers in the state as he announces plans for an airport project.
This 11.45 kilometer stretch of road would, on completion in the next 12 months, breathe new life into the economies of the communities along this corridor and stimulate job creation through the expansion of opportunities in agriculture, food and beverage processing, hospitality, retail trade, and real estate.
Shortly after the flag-off, Dr. Oti proceeds to Umuahia for the commissioning of the reconstructed Dozie Way and the abandoned Nnamdi Azikiwe Secretariat, first built under General Ibrahim Babangida's administration, but renovated by Dr. Alex Oti.
New businesses are springing up. The values of properties are appreciating. New people are moving into the area, and life generally is getting better for the residents.
First, an integrity test was conducted to certify the structural soundness of the building, following which an extensive reconstruction, renovation, and retrofitting was embarked on to ensure that the building was fit for purpose. Not only has the structure been revamped, water and light has been restored.
Abia residents are excited that the newly reconstructed road and transformed complex will make life easier and create an optimal work environment with modern amenities to enhance civil service productivity. The governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, says education is experiencing fundamental disruption through technology and innovation, and institutions in the state will not be left out in scaling up to the world standards. The governor notes this when he inspected facilities at the Nwafo Orizu College of Education in Nsugbe, Nosen in Anambra East local government area, and decries the poor state of infrastructure in the college despite the pivotal role that it has played in enhancing teaching and learning in the state since it was established in 1976. He announces immediate intervention to ensure the college becomes a smart institution with a view to upgrading it to a degree awarding one.
Governor Chukwuma Soludo is received with warmth at Nwafo Orizu College of Education in Nsugbe, or Nosen as it is popularly called by the students and pupils of the schools. He is here on an inspection tour of the college to ensure that the mantra of his administration of smart schools and smart teachers is in place. The governor comes prepared and tackles the sports facility first.
From tomorrow, Mayor, they will start constructing the golf course. We'll locate the place and put the stuff for the basketball. We will start constructing this from this week. And when it is all done, I want to see the video that it is all done now.
Next, he sought out the WAEC fees for the senior secondary students, and this is the reaction.
When it is time to pay for your WAEC, we will pay for your WAEC.
The governor is taking around classrooms, offices, and other facilities. He's not happy with what he sees as he goes into a town hall meeting with the college community. remarks, the college provost intimates Governor Soludo on the success stories of the college and prays that he attends to numerous appeals to increase their subvention.
Here and now, Sunday, that from January 2025, this nation, from January 2025, your prayers are.
Next is the status upgrade of the college, which he says is before the State House of Assembly.
The name of this institution.
The announcement throws the entire college community into a frenzied excitement as they hand over to the governor a big artwork that enthrones him as the Lion of Nossen.
And this is where we drop the anchor on this edition of the program covering Nigeria's Northeast. We'll be back again, same time tomorrow. I am Bukola Koka. Bye for now.